Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Greater Life, Greater Impact. I should probably plug in my my mic so that you can hear me better. I did put a little notification in the chat box for you guys. You're definitely going to want to have like a pencil and a paper handy. And hopefully I will just keep letting people in to the room. We've got people jumping on. That's great. Welcome to Greater Life, Greater Impact. Today, we're going to be talking all about the divine, perfect self-expression. And it's almost impossible to teach this in a class. You have to experience it. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into a guided meditation today to help you to experience your higher self. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. If you cannot, type something into the chat or unmute yourself and let me know. Welcome. We've got lots of newcomers that are starting to attend to these classes. So if you are new to any of my classes, my name is Janet and I'm a quantum healing practitioner. And what I do is I help take people to the uncharted waters of who they really are for healing, for spiritual awakening, for transformation in their lives. And so I really hope and pray that you guys will get some good knowledge, some good experiences from these classes, and that you'll go out and share it with your friends and family if you feel like they could benefit as well. If you have an interest in getting the replays to these classes, you can go over to my website, which is janetthurgood.com. I will type it into the chat box so that you have access to that. There is a place on my website that there's a little button where you can access all of the courses. And the course for this year, if you want all of the replays for the classes this year, it's under Manifesting Miracles and Healing the Past. So you can access all the replays for the year there. janetthurgood.com is where you can find that. Just click on courses and you should be able to figure it out from there. Some of you are going to want to have access to the replay of this class in particular because we're going to do a lot of hands-on a guided meditation. I'm going to take you through an exercise. So if you haven't already, you may want to go grab a pencil and a paper. Jessica says, I think some are struggling to log in. I don't know how to help them with that. Hold on a second. Let me see. Is there a Zoom link? It is above. Hopefully that makes it to the right people. Did you guys have problems logging in? Heather says, yes, it was challenging this morning. That is very odd. Jessica says it was more difficult. I don't know why it would be more difficult. In fact, yeah, we only have like half the participants on this morning. So that is odd. Not sure what is happening or how to remedy that problem. But as people are still jumping on, I'll just be sure to let them in. Yeah, Bambi says, I struggled getting in because it sent me, hold on, to go to my email after registering, and then I got the link in my email. Edith said as it was easy. Somebody else said it was easy. Okay, well, everyone's having different experiences. Sorry about that. Amy says, yeah, I had to register. Interesting. You have to register first and then wait for the email. The Zoom link is at the bottom of the email. A little more confusing if you don't know the process. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's having you do that, but we're just going to keep moving forward as people jump on. So if you haven't already, grab a pencil and a paper or a notebook, something that you can take notes on. We're going to go right into a guided meditation this morning. So as we're doing that, I want you to just slow down your thinking and slow down your breathing. So if you can slow the energy down, you'll actually go into a quickened energy. It's a faster, more refined energy, but you got to slow your mind down and almost dissolve the mind, dissolve the body. And so that's what we're going to do today is we're going to go into a state of meditation where we dissolve the mind and dissolve the body. So first thing first is the breath. So I want you to really just focus on your breath, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, slowing everything way, way, way down. So the person, I want you to just breathe that way for just a couple of minutes while I'm talking. And as you're breathing slower, I want your thinking to slow down, and I want you to just allow your mind and your attention and your awareness to drop down into your body, deep down into your body. So if you were to picture an imaginary line from the top of your head to the base of your spine, that is your center. So I want you to just think about sliding down that midline, your center, in your body, all the way down to the base of the spine. The person who seeks to know themselves in all ways will also come to know God. And I know that that is true. And I know that the reverse of that is true. So the person who seeks to know God in all ways will also come to know themselves on the highest level. And I think that in this lifetime, I think that is probably the most worthy pursuit that a human being could ever invest their time and their talents and their resources and their energy in. It's the greatest aspiration any of us could ever hope to seek for, which is to know yourself. And not just to know about yourself. I'm not talking about learning about your personality, and I'm not talking about the struggles of your past or what you've been through or anything like that. I'm talking about to know the beingness inside of you that inhabits this physical body. When you come to know your own beingness, and you learn how to tap into that, and you learn how to access it, that's power. There's great power in that. And so today we're going to do some tapping in to that part of yourself. And so when we get into sensing, tapping in, feeling the innermost parts of yourself, using a guided meditation can be helpful. And so the sacred imagination is a place where we like to take you. When you are in a relaxed state and tapping into your sacred imagination through relaxation, it's just amazing what can transpire when you do that. So what I want you to do is look for relaxation. That's the first step, is we're trying to get the body into a state of non-resistance. And so as you continue the breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, I want you to take your attention and your awareness and go down deep into your body. Put your awareness, your thought, your imagination at the base of the spine. If you're having a hard time being at the base of the spine, what I want you to do is imagine that there is a giant imaginary nose at the base of the spine that you're breathing into. When you breathe out, all you're doing on the exhale is just letting go. You're letting go of tension and tightness. Look for those places in the body where you store tension. Do you have tension in your face? Keep a portion of your awareness at the base of the spine, dropping down, 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 being in your hips. You can also put your awareness under your feet. This is the root chakra. It's all about stability, safety. It's about connecting to your higher self. I have said this for years. Some of you have heard me say it multiple times, but the farther away from your true soul self you wander, the sicker, the more depressed, the more lonely, the more In lack, you become. And so when you are in a state of tapping in, tuning in to your higher self, what happens is you experience less of those things and you experience more of health, wealth, love, abundance, and your highest achievements because you are tapping into your highest self. So today I want to focus on tapping into the highest self, but also moving forward in your life, becoming the true expression of your highest self. What does that look like? How do you do it? What are the steps? And I don't want to get too hung up on steps today. I want you to really focus in on feelings, experiences. What are you noticing? I want you to experience the beingness of you. And imagination is the sacred stage where we do that. Nancy says, I've had to register every week for a long time. Yeah, you know what I think what we're going to do from here on out, as we start sending these invitations out, we're going to do it different so that you don't have to register every single week, so that you can just access the link, click on the link, and you won't have to do that anymore. I will have somebody fix that this week. So sorry for the confusion for you, those of you guys who had to register and go find it in your email. I know that's a pain. Okay, so back to being inside your body. Put your awareness inside, drop down to the base of the spine, getting into your hips, breathing and softening. And as you're doing that, I want you to just listen to this affirmation as if you're saying it. So just listen to the affirmation as you breathe deeply into your body. I want you to look for those pockets of tension. Again, drop your shoulders, relax your face, look for tension in your eyeballs, in your gut, your stomach, your heart, your legs. Look for where that tension is and choose to just surrender those muscles. If they're tight, let them go, release them. And as you're breathing into that, I want you to just listen to this affirmation. Infinite Spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life to manifest. Let the genius within me now be released. Let me see clearly the perfect plan. I'm going to repeat. Infinite Spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life to manifest. Let the genius within me be released now. Let me see clearly the perfect plan. Keep breathing, keep dropping down into the base of the spine. And as your attention is at the base of the spine, where security and stability and safety lives, I'm going to invite you to listen to this affirmation one more time, continuing to let go and let go and let go of tension. If your shoulders are tight, roll them a little bit so that you can release the tension there, so that you can let that go. Breathe in, breathe out. Again, Infinite Spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life to manifest. Let the genius within me now be released. Let me see clearly the perfect plan. Okay, keep breathing. Keep tapping into your inner self, your higher self. I want you to really get in touch with where in your body are you noticing the resistance to this affirmation. Infinite Spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life to manifest. Let the genius within me now be released. Let me see clearly the perfect plan. Where in your body are you noticing any resistance, tightness, tension? Go through the whole body. Go from the top of your head, down behind your eyes, down through your throat, looking for those muscle groups that need to be surrendered. Breathing in deeply. Breathing out nice and long and slow. On the inhale, you're breathing in liquid light. You're breathing in love. Everything that you didn't get when you were younger that you wanted. Breathe that in the form of light and truth and love. Breathe that into your body, into your bones. Breathe it into your cells. Breathe it into every organ, muscle, tissue, and fiber of your body. When you breathe out, it's just all about letting go of tension. You're dropping your shoulders on the exhale. You're relaxing your face and your stomach on the exhale. And your jaw. And your shoulders and your neck. Look into your body. See if you can find those little pockets of tension. Ask those muscles to just surrender and release and let go. Keep letting go. You can still hold yourself up with confidence, but let go of tension. So those are two different things. Strength is different than tension. So you can hold yourself up with strength, but let go of the resistance and the tension. If it's in your big toe, try to relax that muscle. I'm feeling a lot coming up on the shoulders. I don't know if any of you guys are feeling that as well, but just go ahead and roll your shoulders a little bit, roll your head around, open up some space, keep breathing. Do not hold your breath. Do not hold your breath. The next step is expansion. So I want you to feel your light, your energy, your essence. I want you to feel that stuff, the non-tangible parts of you, taking up more space. You are no longer within just this physical body. In fact, let the physical body start to dissolve. The more that you surrender and relax those muscles, the more the body will start to dissolve and fade away a little bit. And the more your spiritual, etheric self will come to the surface, to the forefront of your awareness. And that etheric, energetic, light being self is infinite. You take up all the space you want to. You can fill the entire universe with your presence, with your essence. God does. So you can too. So I want you to just, in this state of perfect total relaxation, I want you to go down to the base of the spine. Keep your awareness there at the base of the spine the whole time. And just allow your center, the midline, to just expand with the exhale out. So as you breathe out this time, push that light out. Take up more space in front of you. Take up more space behind your body, above your body, below your body. And that light is coming from within, deep within your body. Anchored in at the base of the spine. So just like you stepped into the center of the sun and the sun stepped into the center of you, I want you to shine like that. Fill up the room with your light, your presence, your essence. Fill it up. Big breath in, big breath out. On the exhale, expand out so far that your light goes beyond the body, beyond the room, beyond the container that you're in. It goes out into the universe. Way, way out into the universe. anchored in. A portion of your awareness is at the base of the spine, but when you breathe out, you just expand and shine, just like the sun. Like the largest sun in the universe shines so bright, piercing the darkness, penetrating the darkness, penetrating everything that's physical, all the material. Breathe in, breathe out. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Type into the chat if you're willing, or write it in your journal. Type into the chat, what does it feel like to be in your body, dropped down to the base of the spine, expanded out? What does this feel like for you? Give me adjectives. Just type it into the chat when you're ready. Notice what you feel now that you're connected at the base of the spine. Pay attention to that feeling. Yeah, Jennifer says warm, glowing, peace. Good. Those are good descriptive words. Use some more adjectives, everybody. Jump on. Somebody else says, Katie says peace. Yeah. Yeah, good job. Good job. That's how you know you're tapped in. That's how you know you're connected. Anybody else have any? I worked with a 10-year-old one time who said, feels like home. Feels amazing. I want you also to notice, where does your light end and God's light begin? Where does your light end and God's light begin? Shauna says creative, powerful. Meryl says connected to everything. Yes, good. Feel that oneness. I want you to pay attention, Meryl, to that oneness. Elizabeth says connected to the world around me, plugged in, free. Freedom is amazing, isn't it? And flowing. Do you know when I ask people what they really, really want? When I say, tell me what you want, what you really, really want, they say, I want to feel freedom. I want to be me, and I want to be free to be me. Emily says relaxed. Nice. Good adjectives. Good adjectives. This is great. What you're describing is you. That's you. Tammy says grand and magnificent. Yes. Yes, you are grand and magnificent. Emily, when you say that you feel relaxed, I'm guessing that there's some peace in there, that it feels stable. When you feel safe, that's typically when we are the most relaxed and at ease. So there's safety, stability. So explore these adjectives even more. Write the adjectives down for yourself, because what you're doing is you're describing you. What does it feel like to be you? Peace, flowing like a river. Yes, good. Being in that state of flow, that is wonderful. So I want you to notice first and foremost what you feel when you're connected to your higher self. If you pop out a little bit and you start getting back up into your mind, I want you to just take your thoughts and your awareness, drop back down into the body, go into that stillness. And let your thoughts be there, it's okay. But just bring them down into your body to the base of the spine. Go into that still place, go into that expanded place. And as you breathe out, push your light out. I want you to write down, what do you feel like? What does it feel like to be you? Okay. Next, The next step is seeing. As you drop down deep, deep, deep into your body, I want you to go into the heart space for a moment. Let's pretend there's a door. And okay, so Anne says softness, decreased tension. Good. Softness. That's a good descriptive word. Thank you for sharing that. Now we're going to go into a state of seeing. I want you to be willing to see clearly. Again, dropping down to the base of the spine, let a portion of your awareness be there at the base of the spine, but also let a portion of your awareness go into your heart center. Let's pretend there's a door on the outside of your heart. You're inside your body. Close your eyes. Be aware of the inside of your body. Look at your heart. Tell your heart, thank you for pumping blood. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for feeling feelings. Open the door on the side of your heart and step inside. Again, infinite spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life to manifest. Let the genius within me now be released. Let me see clearly the perfect plan for me. So as you open that door and you step into the space in the center of your heart, I want you to notice that it's just pure, infinite, divine, golden white light. Just notice. On the exhale, that light it shines, it spreads out, it pushes itself out, it pierces through your body, it pierces through the walls, it pierces through all the darkness in the universe. It pierces all the darkness, all the density of the universe. That's what's inside your heart. Golden, white, brilliant light, millions of tendrils going out. Now that you're inside of your heart space, I want you to pretend. You're going to have to pretend. You're going to have to go into your imagination a little bit and let yourself be willing to see some stuff, some images, some metaphors that will give you clarity as to who you are and what you're here to do and what you're here to give. So use your imagination. Go into that golden white light, and I want you to pretend there's a big mirror in front of you, shining, reflecting back at you, your higher self. What do you see in your higher self? What do you know about her or him? What are you noticing? What is being reflected back to you? What symbols, metaphors, images? Do you see an actual being? Do you see what you're wearing? Some of you will just only see light. And you can type into the chat the description of what you're seeing as you look at your higher self in the mirror. Shauna says, joyful laughter. Good. More descriptive words of you. You're getting a good sense of who you are. This is the truth. This is the true you. What do you see? Notice what you notice. Are you wearing something significant? What colors are there? If you're not seeing that and you're just seeing light, I want you to give yourself permission to see more. Ask Infinite Spirit, would it be okay if I see more? Tracy, hi Tracy, my neighbor. I love you. Okay, standing taller, radiating brightness. Awesome. Yeah, radiating. Think about that word. There's so much more to that. You can take that down the rabbit hole, Tracy. So standing taller, what does that mean to you? Radiating brightness, what does that mean to you? What does that mean about you? Who are you? Are you a perfect brightness in the world? What do you shine? What do you give to the world? Katie says, I see my best friend. Yes, which is you. Shauna says, so much confidence. Yes, and apparently joy. Because of all of the laughter, right, that you saw as well. Good job. You guys are doing exactly what I want you to be doing. Record some of this in your journal. Write it down so that you can get a better feeling, a better description, a better knowing, a better seeing of who you really are, who you truly are. Keep going. I shared this with my mentoring students yesterday because we did this exercise with them yesterday. And one of the things that came out was, I'm going to share it with you. Several years ago, the more that I do this and the more that I go into these meditations and really get clarity, for the first several years, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything but just metaphors and symbols and colors. Then one day, something in me shifted. I was able to release a lot of heavy, gunky emotion before I went into the meditation, and something shifted, and I saw a glimpse of my eternal self. And I saw it metaphorically, but I literally saw it brilliantly. I saw her there standing in perfect golden robes, and I am going to show you exactly what I saw because I drew it on paper. Hold on. I had to peel it off of my wall. So this is what I saw. There are pieces to this drawing that are symbolic to me. They're metaphoric to me, and I know what they mean because I've asked those questions. But I saw this yesterday when we went into the meditation with my class, my mentoring students. And this time I saw her all in gold. And so the message that I received was, go paint her in a golden color. So I have to go change the colors of this picture now, and she's going to be all in gold. And there's symbology to that. There's meaning to that. And so as I go into my own meditations and I ask God and my higher self, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean for me? You're the only one who can know what that means to you and for you. And so keep dropping your awareness down into your body, expanding out with the breath, letting go of that tension, and just continue pulling up in your imagination as you go deep in the inner walls of your heart, into that heart space. Keep being open to what comes up. Anne says, I was covering my face up. I think this reflects what I've been feeling in my relationships. I see a warrior, someone full of knowledge. Good. This is you. This is the true you. Jennifer, loving guardian with wings. They are white, pale yellow, and lavender feathers, big and bold. I've seen this before. I've seen that in you before. Yes. And yes, you are a loving guardian. And even more than that, those are just two words. You could take that and go down the rabbit hole and get more descriptive words, more descriptive in who you are and what your beingness is like, what it feels like. Bambi says, I saw me with a crown on my head, with a white robe, and the word divinity came to mind. Perfect. That's perfect. Shauna said, I saw myself like that once as well, all golden with many symbols. Thank you for showing that drawing. So beautiful. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, stay in this place, stay in this space. And I just want you to take a few minutes to write down any other things that you see. Do you notice colors? Do you notice imagery? Do you notice symbols, metaphors? Animals, numbers, words, whatever comes to mind. Please don't judge it. Don't try to force it. Just allow it to come through through your imagination. Let it just flow through to you. And before you judge it, just write it down. Linnea says, at first I saw myself in a beautiful white dress and white cape, and then it changed into an armor like a warrior with silver and a red cape. Awesome. If you have any ability to capture these images, either cutting them out of magazines or picture books or something, or going to the internet to capture those images, or maybe even drawing it on a paper yourself, putting it that imagery in your journal so that you can easily grab this feeling. It's the feeling that you need. It's not necessarily the image, but the feeling that the image brings you. Okay, now we're going to go even deeper inside. So you stood there and you looked at your higher self through a mirror. Now I want you to notice that we're going to wheel in this big pedestal, and on this big wooden pedestal is a book. It's a big, giant, leather, beautifully bound book. Well, it doesn't have to be leather. It could be made of anything you want it to be made of, anything that comes to mind for you, metaphorically. So I want you to just notice, what does the book look like? Is there color? What is it made of? And as you open that book, you recognize that this book is your past, your present, and your future. It's your book of life. It's your book, and only your book. There is a person, there is a being inside of you. That perfect self-expression of your being, there is a place in there that fills a void in the universe that nobody else can fill. That's you. Nobody else can be you. Nobody else can give what you give. Nobody else can shine what you shine. So as you open up this book of life, I want you to notice your past. Flip through the pages a little bit. Go all the way back to the beginning of your soul. How ancient, how old is your soul? How many lifetimes has your soul lived? How many experiences has your soul been through? What are the experiences? Just flip through that book. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this part. You can go back to this at a later date when you go into your meditations. But just flip through your past and just notice where you've been, how far you've come, all the things you've been through, all the things that you've overcome and learned, all the difficulties, the challenges, the hardships, the struggle. What did you learn from those things? What is the greatest learning? Did you learn compassion? Did you learn humility? Did you learn to be patient? Did you learn to love others because you want to be loved? Did you learn to not judge others because you don't want to be judged? What did you learn? What were the hardest things? What were the most beautiful things? Flip through your book and just take a minute, and I want you to write down in your journal what came to mind. Again, remembering your soul is old. a lot older than you think it is. So you can also look into your book of life and see the past lives. Chances are you've had many. If you're here today, on this earth today, at such a time as this, there's a chance you're a very old soul. You've had many, many experiences, many lifetimes. Which ones stand out? What flashes of memory come to mind? I'll give you 1 more minute. I'm going to let you come back to these at a later date so that you can fill up those pages in your journal. Megan says, when I saw myself, I was wearing a green gold heart necklace. When I saw my book of life, it was the same gold green. My book of life is stored in my heart. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Your eternal self is not somewhere far away in a future place. Your eternal self is within. Heaven is within. Heaven is not somewhere way, way, way far away. The way you connect to God, to the gods, Father and Mother, and the divine ones, is from going within. That's how you connect with them. That's the place that you connect with them. So yes, Megan, you're absolutely right. Everything that you're looking for is within. You will never find what you're looking for by going out, by the external world. The external world is simply just, how do I describe it? It's the after effect of what has gone on within. So the external world is just the byproduct. The internal world is the present, the now, the infinite, the truth of who you are. That's what's real. Tammy says, I noticed that I took that very large book and embraced it. I brought it to my heart and embraced it with gratitude. Yes. This is your greatest gift. This is your book of life. It is your greatest, greatest gift. You can open its pages anytime you want. It's yours. You created it. You had help from the divine in creating this book. Now, I want you to come forward a few pages to the present moment now until you open your book of life, and now you're in the present moment right now. And you're viewing, maybe it looks like a movie, maybe it looks like pictures, maybe it looks like words. I don't know what your book looks like when you open it, but just look inside and see what you see. In the now, in this moment right now. What's going on in your life right now? What's going on in your family, your relationships, your career, whatever it might be, the things that you do? How are you expressing the manifestation of your true self in this life right now? So again, I'm going to repeat the affirmation to you again as you look into the present infinite now, your life right now as it is. Infinite Spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life to be manifest. Let the genius within me now be released, that I may see clearly the perfect plan. Can you see how the past, even the pains of the past, and the struggles and challenges of the present are perfectly designed for you, for your growth, for your good, for your journey? Can you see how you wrote those things into your book of life because you knew they would be perfectly designed for you? You wrote it. Nobody else wrote your book of life but you. God had a hand in it. He was there to witness it for you. He was there to guide you. He was there to hold space for you and be present while you began creating this book for yourself. But he did not write it. God is not a puppet master controlling your life and telling you what to do and what not to do. It's all on you. The fullness of 100% of free will and agency is on you. It always has been. And it always will be. Okay. Just keep looking into the challenges, the struggles, the learning, the experience, the beauty of the now. I'm going to give you 1 more minute. Keep your attention inside your body at the base of the spine. Spread out. Look at that book. Look at the page. Look at the movie that's being played out of your life. Take some deep breaths. Okay. Now, you can come back to this again when you have more time to focus on the present. So we did the past, we flipped through all those pages, we looked at what was there to show us, to talk to us, to communicate with us, to give us understanding of how that got us to here. How did that get us to this? Now that we're in this, what's coming in the future? What's the future going to look like? What's the next page going to be for you? So I want you to ponder and think on the future of your book for just a moment. And as you ponder on that, go ahead and open the page. Turn the page to open up to your future and say, Infinite Spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life to manifest. Let the genius within me be released now. Let me see clearly the perfect plan for me. What are you here to give? What have you learned? What have you experienced? Where are you now? What are you here to give? What would fill your days if you had all the money, all the resources, and all the support that you ever could want or need? What would you do with your time? When you got up in the morning, what would you do with your days? If you had experienced all the love that you ever needed or wanted, if you had experienced all the fun, all the play, all of the exploration, all of the curiosity and wonder, all of those things had been satisfied. All of the resources and abundance to support you and all the people to support you are at your fingertips. What do you do with your time? What are you here to give? Now, stepping into your future is a matter of playing. We shouldn't make this hard. It shouldn't be work. It should be not labor. It should be curiosity and wonder. I wonder what's around the corner for me. I wonder what's next. I wonder what is possible that I could have, be, or do this. Mike says, sharing healing for bruised people. Wow. Wow. That's who you are. Who you are is healing. Who you are is light. And when you step into the beingness of your own light, you are healing people just by being in their presence. You are healing people. Okay. So, excuse me, the universe will satisfy every demand, every request, every thing that is needed in order to support you on your path as it unfolds. The universe wants to supply that. It's designed to supply that. It doesn't know how to not support you, but it can only support you to the level of your willingness, your open heart, your open mind, and your belief. So the key is in the spoken word and the exercising of your faith, speaking it out into the world. I am this, I choose this, I'm ready for this, I'm grateful for this. Your spoken word and the exercising of perfect faith will release the support that you are looking for, that you think you need, because the universe doesn't know how to not support you. It's this God-given container of energy and spirit and light that God has created it in a way that it supports free will. It doesn't know how to not support your own free will. So keep in mind, though, that fear is the enemy to that, to your faith. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. So once you are very clear on what the next steps are for you, what you're here to give out into the world, now it behooves you, it's on you to act in alignment with those things. And so the only way that you can act upon those things is you got to watch for leads that come into your life by intuition, by divine design, by miraculous means, by the evidence that the universe is there to support you. You have to look for that stuff. And so we're not here to brute force our way through anything. We're not here to force your life into being. We're here to choose. And then God is the one who allows things to unfold the way they unfold. You don't force it into being. You open your mind, you open your heart, you open up the channels for you to both give and receive. And as you receive those flashes of inspiration and these little downloads of knowing that will come to you, and they will come to you, that's what you act upon, is the downloads, the inspiration, the flashes, the hunches. So that's how you move ahead. That's how you respond. That's how you step into the next few pages of your book, your life's book. And once you have that vision, that clear vision of who you are and where you're going, where you've been, and what you're here to give, once you have that vision and it's very clear to you, you hold that vision. You don't let anybody talk you out of that vision. You don't let anybody diminish that vision within you, not even yourself. Do not allow it. You hold that vision. Never, 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 never waver in it. Okay. We got some. Okay. Elizabeth says, the genius within me is light. I see myself as a child in the eternities playing with light at my Father's feet, learning to master it in maturity. The light is within me. It flows from my heart and my hands. That light creates, commands, loves, and heals. This is so beautiful. I'm here to show the world how to access the divine, their light within, to show them they are powerful children of light, to lead by being, how to be powerful and fearless. I could not have said that any better. We could just go home right now and be done with this class right now, just from that sentiment. You have just tapped in to the divine infinite potential of who you are and what you're here to give, Elizabeth. Tracy says, I see booming yellow flowers from everywhere. I need to give light, love, forgiveness. I need to choose laughter, fun. I have to relax more. I don't have to be perfect. You are perfect. You are perfect. The deep, inner, perfect self-expression of you is perfect. Your mortal self, probably not so much perfect, but it's not supposed to be. I am enough to share me as is. Yes, 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 and yes. Wow. I have no words for that. Look what you just tapped into. So that which you seek is seeking you. That which you seek is seeking you. So it behooves you. Oh, go ahead, Elizabeth. Do you have a comment?
Yeah, I feel like I am supposed to share this experience, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
A couple years ago, I was at probably what I would call my rock bottom and facing addictions, and I was a mess. And I was sitting outside in my car talking to God, and the veil was lifted, and I was given the opportunity to see my pre-existent self, my eternal self. And her name was Elizabeth. My whole life I've been going by Beth, but I saw her, the Lord showed me her, and her name was Elizabeth. And she was tall, she was graceful. There were all of these, she was confident, she was knowing, she was wise. She was so assured, and she knew God and everything around her. And I remember watching her and thinking, how can this be me when everything I am here is so polar opposite? And it was in that moment that I was taught that my trials, my experiences here in this life, in this mortal realm I was experiencing right now, were divinely tailored to challenge everything that I was in my eternal self. So I grew up abused. I grew up addicted. I had no grace. I was clumsy. I was no self-esteem, no confidence, always questioning. And if I look back through my life, I saw that everything I experienced was specifically an opposition to who my true eternal self was, so that I could overcome those unique oppositions and authentically become my true eternal self. And it's a lesson that I've taught to people when the time was given to me, to look at your life, to look at your specific weaknesses, your specific struggles that are yours, and ask yourself, what is the exact opposite of that trial? What is the exact opposite of that weakness? And in understanding that weakness in that moment, you catch a glimpse of your true self and those true qualities that are yours. And as we overcome those things, we authentically become our divine selves.
That's perfect. That is just perfect. I have no words. I have nothing to add to that. I think that is beautiful, beautifully said. And, you know, in the knowing of that, then, Elizabeth, you can look at your life, you can look at the flaws and the the challenges and the obstacles and the things that have hindered you and resisted you, and you can see them as perfectly designed, perfectly made, perfectly written into your plan and into your program, so that you could overcome to the degree that your eternal self is reflected and manifested in your physical self, in this physical plane, in a mortal body. That's the goal, is to have the eternal self manifest through this mortal material plane that we're in. Karen, did you have a comment? I'm guessing no. I just saw that your mic was unmuted, so I thought maybe you had something to share or add. If you do, that's fine. You can always interject, and I love when you guys interject your experiences into this class. It's wonderful. So in moving forward then, I have a few application or applicable principles that might really be of benefit to you as you move forward. Number one, practice this meditation. Have a daily practice where you can go inward and do your inner work on a daily basis and become very self-aware. What does it feel like to be you? What does it look like to be you? What are your challenges teaching you and telling you about you? And Anne says, I learned in a class that your weaknesses are your hidden strengths. Yes, that's truth. That is truth. Okay, so as we move forward, I see Mike's unmuted. Do you have a question or comment? Go ahead.
I was just going to comment. Last Sunday in church, I gave a talk on self-improvement and self-worth. And the first question that I was supposed to talk on was how your weaknesses become your strengths. So thank you to both of those that just shared those comments, because it's 100% true. Our weaknesses are not weaknesses. At one point in our life, we're going to learn that those weaknesses were given to us so that we can be strengths for other people.
Yes, yes, 100% agree.
Thank you so much for this today.
Thank you. I thank everybody for being here and for all that you contribute. Okay, so we've got another comment from Katie who says, I see myself as pure light extending from my hands, roaming around to hurt broken, beautiful souls, to touch, to heal, to bless, to show the world that fear is a liar and faith can cure through the power of Christ within. I see smiling, joy, laughter. Thank you for this experience. I have seen my inner divine self before, but there has been much resistance lately, and weeding through the unstable energy and fear. I needed this. Much gratitude. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing that. Wow. Can you guys see how vital it is that each and every one of you, myself included, we all deserve to know how awesome we are. We need to know how awesome we are so that we can come from that place, so that we can overcome this fallen world that we live in, this hell place that we live in, and still stand in our eternal nature, regardless of what the flesh and what the material world is doing and saying. Katie says, the statement you made in the meditation, the infinite, will that be available? Yes, that I will make that available. So I feel like this class was really an important class. I will make this class available as a replay. I will put it onto YouTube, and then you guys will be able to find it. in the Facebook chat. You'll be able to find it in my Facebook group. I'll post it on my personal wall, and then I'll also put it in the Telegram link so that you have access to it. And if I have time, then I will put together a handout with these principles in it, because I'm going to lead you through some principles that will help you in moving forward as you seek to be the manifestation of your highest self, that highest, purest, perfect self-expression. So the fourth thing that I wanted to bring out was to use your gifts and talents. Don't be afraid to use your gifts and talents. Don't be afraid to tap into that stuff that you know that you're already good at, that God has blessed you with. Because remember the parable of the talents. You hide those things or don't use them, there's a terrible consequence for that. They'll be taken away from you. So there's a penalty for hiding your talents and your light under a bushel. The next thing that I recommend is overcome fear. So as we talked about holding the vision, never letting go of the vision of who you are and what you're here to give. Once you have that established, and once if you have a daily practice to go within and do these daily practice, these meditations every day, and get the perspective that you need about who you are and what you're here to do, the more clear that the action steps are going to be for you. You'll get those little downloads and those little intuitions and inspirations. So my recommendation is learn to overcome fear. Speak out loud what you choose, what you're seeking for, where you're going. Speak these things out loud. Write them down into your notebooks, into your journal. Make sure that you're putting these things into physical form. You bring it into physical form when you speak it into a vibration and write it on a piece of paper. So now it is in physical form because it's on paper, right? Lose the self-consciousness, the insecurities, lose that stuff, and become a perfect channel for the infinite intelligence to express itself through you. Lose the insecurity, ditch that stuff. That's just fear. And become a perfect channel for the infinite intelligence to manifest itself through you physically, to express itself through your highest self, to express itself through you. In other words, the way that you do that is train yourself to let go of those lower level emotions and learn to feel good. Learn to operate in those good feelings. Learn to operate in the feelings that satisfy you, that please you, that make you, that light up your soul and fill you with love and joy and gratitude. Learn to operate in that energy, and you will be a true reflection, a true expression of your higher self. I have another comment. Hold on. Elizabeth says, I think it's easy to ask, why me, in our trials and challenges, but when we see it from that eternal perspective, the divine design of our trials makes so much sense. It has changed the energy I've given my weaknesses. I don't ask why me anymore. I meet them with curiosity. I've learned that some people don't know how to picture or connect with their eternal selves because all they see are their weaknesses. I've learned to help others manifest and see their true self by seeing the opposite of their weaknesses. Love it. Love it. I love that you know who you are. You know what you're here to give. You know what your talents are, that God's given you these God-given talents and abilities. You're using those talents and abilities as you move forward. Charisse, go ahead. You're muted.
Sorry, couldn't figure out my buttons. I learned in a class a few years ago, we were talking about this very same subject and about our trials and our opposition that we receive in this life, that we manifest, that we create. And then I was I was kind of actually shown that, is it possible for us to, all those experiences that we had in that book of life that you talked about, all of our past life experiences, we manifested those to learn very specific attributes of Christ. Is it possible to bring that learning forward from those past life experiences into this life so that we don't have to manifest the trials and the troubles and the tribulations? Is that possible? So if you can just take a step back and look at it from that perception, that that's a belief that my trials teach me, my trials learn. I gain an education from my struggles. So I don't know. You can keep the belief if you want to, if you don't mind going through your trials and your struggles, but that is something that I have learned, is that you can purge that belief through breathing, through different techniques. And you can, when you're going through a trial or something happens, the trial is just a perception of what's happening, right? So you can actually just take a step back and take a look. Well, what am I learning? Okay, well, let's bring those attributes forward that I have learned. I've already learned this already. We've already done this. This isn't anything new. So if we bring that forward, that learning, that education, remember it. Allow yourselves to remember it. Allow your soul to remember it. And then just cut those cords and those contracts and those, that bind you to that education, that learning, that experience. So there's ways that you can do it. You don't have to go through really shitty experiences to to learn. You don't have to.
Yeah, I love that. That is beautiful. Thank you, guys. That's next level, actually, I think. I think that what Elizabeth described in seeing the contrast, that's where we start out, is there has to be learning, there has to be contrast. We're learning through experience and through seeing the differences in the two different polarities. But as we become more unified with our higher selves and with the God within us, then we start, like you just said, then we begin, the next level is to just step into that oneness where we don't necessarily need to suffer anymore, because that part of us has been fulfilled. That part of us is complete. Some of us asked for these experiences to happen in this lifetime by divine design, because we wanted the contrast, we wanted to overcome, we wanted the experience. But I appreciate what you said. I do think that is definitely next level. Another thing to remember is not to lean in on our own mortal understanding, like what Charisse said. Sometimes it's good to take a step back in our lives and go, okay, is this just a belief? Can I let this go? Could this be different? And if it could be different, what would that be like? To step into the possibility of, what if I didn't have to suffer in order to expand my soul and be the higher, truer reflection of my highest self in this mortal plane? What if I didn't have to suffer? What are some of the beliefs that are hindering me that I could let go of in this moment? Elizabeth says, I love that, Charisse. It quickens the learning. We don't have to remain in trial or weakness once we understand. Thank you. Yes, I do see it's a progressive stair step of awareness. That's high self-awareness, to realize that suffering isn't always necessary, that is just a belief in and of itself, and we can let go of that belief if we want to choose to experience something different or in a different way. That's next level. And so thank you for sharing that. Okay, a couple other added concepts, and then I'm going to let you go. Acknowledge the God within you at all times. At all times. The minute that you stop acknowledging the godly within you, or the connection to God within you, and you stop relying on that connection, and leaning to your own understanding, like we talked about earlier, that's when things in our lives have a tendency to go sideways, so that we can be reminded to get back on track and to be more connected and to be more whole. So acknowledge the God within you, acknowledge that connection that you have with God at all times. Show your gratitude, ask for guidance, ask for insight, ask for wisdom, ask for light and knowledge and messages and messengers. In all ways, acknowledge him. The other recommendation that I have is don't plan out how God is going to bless you and prosper you and provide for you. Don't plan these things out. It's not your job to use brute force to make your life unfold the way you think it's supposed to. Your job is to set the intention, to make the choices, to exercise free will, and then to act upon intuition. As you are guided through spirit, then God is the one who has access to infinite potential and possibility consciously. We don't consciously see all of the infinite possibilities for our lives, but God does. And he is the one who can give you the guidance that you're looking for, based on infinite potential and infinite possibility for you. So your job is to choose, then open your mind, open the way for God to guide you and lead you, and trust that the divine knows where you're going. Your higher self knows where you're going, and the divine ones know where you're going. The next thing is be tapped in and be connected as often as you possibly can. If you don't have time, if you're in a moment or in a situation where you have stage fright, or you're you're worried, or maybe you were in a car accident, you don't have time to sit and meditate and tap into your higher self, I get it. But just at the very minimum, put your attention within. Go within. Put your awareness at the base of the spine and move forward. It is a connecting point to your higher self. And it works every time. When you do that, you will have more wisdom, more light, more truth, more knowledge. You'll make better decisions. You'll be more compassionate and loving and caring. You will be a more true reflection of who you really are. If at the very minimum, all you're doing is keeping your awareness and your attention inwardly focused at the base of the spine. So be tapped in. When you do, your gifts and your talents will show up. You'll make better decisions. Anger blurs the vision. It poisons the blood. It is the root of many diseases, and it causes wrong decision making, leading to failure. So one of the other things that I think is a true principle and something that we should be practicing on a daily basis is to allow for the fluidity of emotion. Don't allow the emotions to get trapped inside of you and stuck inside of you and hang on to them until the end of time. Allow yourself to feel, but allow yourself to release as well. Give yourself that time. If you are in a car accident, you don't have time to go into meditation and feel your fear and the impact. You're going to have to, like in a situation like that, where there's blunt force trauma, you then have to go back afterwards and do some inner reflecting, do some inner work, calm that inner soul, bring yourself back to a place of peace again, and let go of those emotions that were impacted into your physical being, if that makes sense. So let go of these emotions. Anger has been named as one of the worst sins. And again, sin in my mind is just denying the God self within you. So when you allow anger to run amok, and you allow anger to get the best of you, and you allow it to canker you, and not just feel it and then release it, you allow it to canker you, you are denying the godly within yourself, and it's cankering your soul, and it can lead to all kinds of crazy things. So instead, we connect to our higher selves and we praise the God within us. and the God that we can connect to from within us. Praise that version of God. Toby Lynn, yay! I haven't heard from you in a long time. Go ahead.
Girl, one of the things that goes along with anger is complaining.
Ah,
When we complain, they just go hand in hand.
yes.
I'll
Yeah.
let you talk about that.
Oh, I love it. I love your soul. I've missed having your input on these in these classes. But thank you for that. Yes, complaining is an extension of that. It's allowing your soul to be cankered and bittered by your experiences. So meet your fears, meet your anger, meet your emotions head on, deal with them, feel them for sure. We don't just swallow them away. We don't just pretend they don't exist. We don't just, put them on a shelf. You feel and then you release and then you return yourself to love over and over and over. The next one, in the highest self, when you are accessing your highest self, just like what we did today in this guided meditation, your perfect work will come to pass. And the universe and God and angels will support you. And even people will show up in your life to support you. They can't not, because you become this magnet for support. So all you have to do at that point is just be thankful, be in a state of gratitude. When you go into a state of complaining, like Toby Lynn just talked about, you shut off that support that's trying to come through. It's trying to come through these channels and portals to support you. And you shut that off when you go into complaining and bitterness and what's the word? I'm trying to think of a word and it's not coming to me. Cynicism, right? If you have a habit of incompleting tasks, then sometimes that will even block the universe from being able to support you because you're expressing energy that is incomplete. So if you want to resolve that problem, that habit, go into your life and find something that you have not completed and complete it. Just as a symbol, as a metaphor for moving forward, telling God and telling the universe and your higher self, hey, I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to be in a state of completion, and I'm ready to show the universe and God that I'm in a state where I'm prepared to receive the support that I'm looking for so that I can complete that which I came here to complete. So complete something as a symbol of bringing something into fruition so that you can send that message to God and to yourself that you're ready to be complete. The next one is be believing and be receiving. Be believing and be receiving. Gosh, there's so much to this. We could talk about this for days, but we're kind of short on time. But say something like, I am fully equipped for the divine plan of my life. I am fully equipped. I'm fully capable. I'm fully supported for the divine plan of my life. And I believe it. I believe that this divine plan for me is real. It's true. It's God's highest will for me. I believe it and I receive it. I'm open to receiving it. When you're open to possibilities, then just ask. Ask the divine. Ask God through the Spirit to show you the way. And God will show you the way. And angels and guides and helpers and helpmeets, even in this physical dimension, will show up to support you. That I guarantee you. So be believing and be receiving. Don't refuse the gift. Do you have a tendency, if someone gives you $5 for gas or whatever, then you push it away or you put it back in their pocket? Don't do that. If somebody wants to give to you, then happily and gratefully receive, because it opens that flow of giving and receiving. It opens the way for you to be supported in your divine plan, but it also opens the way for you to give more. So don't cut off your ability to give out into this world by cutting off your receiving. Always receive with a grateful heart. If somebody tries to give to you, tell them thank you. I love you. I appreciate it. Be humble in your receiving. When you refuse the gift, it violates universal law. Go ahead, Toby Lynn.
I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for what you do for us every Tuesday. Thank
Oh,
you.
I love you too. Deeply, profoundly. You have no idea. I need to say it more. Thank you. Thank you. I accept. That was wonderful. Nicole says that information about completing things was for me. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I threw that in there, but apparently you needed to hear that. So did I. So violating laws of giving and receiving, it dams up the flow of where you're going. It dams up the flow of your divine plan and your divine path and you moving forward on it and advancing and ascending. So let's not do that anymore. Become a good receiver. Jill says, I needed to hear that too. Thank you. Okay, good. Be grateful for the tiniest little amount given, even if somebody only can give you a postage stamp. Be grateful for that. Accept it, receive it with humility and with gratitude, and open the door for you to be able to give as well. Last, well, there's two more, I think. The law, I want to talk about the law of cause and effect. Look for the root of why you're resisting whatever is on your path, your divine path. What is at the root of that? And what can you do to resolve it? There's always a cause. Nothing ever happens in your life by chance. There's always something that's at the root that's causing this to play out the way that it's playing out. So look for what's at the root. And if you don't know, get somebody to help you. Hire a coach or a mentor or somebody that can walk this journey with you and give you another set of eyes. The law of reincarnation, I want to talk about that. This is not popular doctrine in LDS culture. You can get in trouble for believing in this law. But in the Eastern philosophy, lots and lots of other religions and cultures and philosophies of this world do believe in the law of reincarnation, that and that states that men will go through many births and many deaths in order to ascend until he finally knows the truth of who he really is. That's the goal. That's the point. There isn't anything more important than self-awareness, than coming to know yourself in all ways. There isn't. It is everything. It's where you're going as a soul. It's why you continue to be born and to die and to be born and to die, because you don't know yourself yet. So learning takes time, but that could just be a belief, right, Charisse? That could just be another belief. We could choose to let that go. But act on the learning that you receive in your life. Wherever you are in your ascension, doesn't matter. Just wherever you are is fine. It's right where you're supposed to be. But act in alignment with what you're receiving. Go ahead, Charisse.
Yeah, the whole rebirth thing and the reincarnation, it happens. We can, like, a lot of it is just changing paradigms. Like when you have to change a paradigm, it might be hard, it might be difficult, that's a rebirth. That's if you look at the cosmos, the things that are happening in the cosmos that bring up, crap that we have going on in our lives. That's a rebirth, right? It happens many times in this existence, not just in past life experiences, and that does happen there too. But it can happen in a year. You can go through a couple different rebirths in 1 year. So it's just changing your perception of it. That I don't know. There's a lot of programming that religion puts on people. Yeah. But if you actually tap in and ask God, show me the truth about reincarnation, and what does that mean, and what is your perception of it? You'll be shown.
Yes. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. And again, to an infinite being, then the infinite that's within you, there is no such thing as death, and there is no such thing as birth, because you are infinite. You are eternal. You have always been and you will always be the same yesterday, today, and forever. This is eternal life, which is to know the one and true God, to know thee, the one and true God, and Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent. You can go look that up. That is life eternal. That is true doctrine. That we are infinite divine beings with a divine destiny. And there is only one. There is no death and rebirth. There is no death and destruction. There is no suffering to an infinite being. So when you learn how to tap into your infinite self, your higher self, you start to realize there is no threat to the infinite. What could possibly threaten infinity? You can't die. You can't lose anything. You can't run out of time, and nothing can be taken from you. And so if you know that and you are coming from that place within you, because that place is within you, then you start to recognize there is no threat to me. And if there is no threat to me, then what do you have to worry about? Nothing. Nothing. There is nothing to worry about. There is only being. And when you learn to come from the true being within you and just be the divine within you, the doing will come naturally. It'll be a byproduct of who you are and what you be and where you're at in that divine plan, in the ascension of your divine plan. The doing will be a manifestation of where you're at in it. And so that's why Sharice was talking about how we're going to have lots of paradigm shifts, because as you continue to unfold and awaken and step boldly into your divine plan, into the kingdom of God and Godhood, then your mortal view will begin to shift and change. It'll constantly shift and change as you wake up more and step more into that kingdom of beingness, being the light that you are. I think that's it for me. Does anybody else have any final thoughts that we can end on? Because this class went a little long.
Yes, I do have something, Jenna, if it's all right for me to share.
Yeah.
And you have a minute, because you know how Mia and I try to get it short, and it's not always so short. But this is going along with the doing. I've had a experience this past weekend with a granddaughter and a wedding. Nonetheless, my oldest granddaughter in the same family has gone into she got involved. She's involved in making these videos, the sexual videos and stuff, and she's getting quite a bit of money for it. Has no clue of a lot of things that are happening around her and being sucked in. Nonetheless, okay, this has gone on for a while, and we've all been kind of concerned. Well, at the wedding, I showed up in my higher self, sort of way, and from my routines and what I've gained from all this. And I just let it be and let it happen, whatever happened. And I noticed, and we didn't even know if Maddie was going to be there. She was there, I'm telling you. And I noticed people would come to me and want to talk. I even had one of the grandmothers sit next to me and just wanting to share with me, gave me her purse so I could feel the energy of it. And just would cry. And her, and then other people. Anyways, nonetheless, I'm just noticing what's going on in this higher self state, right? And but with this granddaughter, she clung to me and wouldn't let go all night. And I was just, there was, anyways, it's a long story, but anyways, she clung to me. And then we parted, and of course she had to fly out the next day or so. But it's interesting because in the next couple of days, I would get visions of things that were maybe going on in her life, or the people that came to me. I would get these like visions of, and things that maybe I needed to follow through with, and like, and actually one of them, that grandmother, I gave her your reference. I was hoping she'd show up today. Anyways, nonetheless. But this one granddaughter was the one that it's like we connected. I don't know how to explain, and I've always been connected with her because she was like my little girl, and I had to find a place for her to live when she was little. Anyways, so things were coming, and I wanted to let her know some of the things because of the danger. I also saw the danger, and she's starting to pick up some danger and understanding that people are gaslighting her where she lives in this house. Well, I just found out that the house has cameras and recordings in it, and these people are probably handlers. Anyways, I wanted to talk with her about some of this stuff that I was getting down and warn her, and I was very concerned because she left in a good state. Well, she finally answered my text yesterday, and told me how, Grandma, I'm going through a panic attack. I feel all this bad stuff. She was picking up from the difference. She says, I was there at the wedding and I felt all the love and everything. And then she felt what I was trying to explain to her at this house and the danger she was in. And I did explain to her that, Maddie, it's not just gaslighting. When you start sticking up for yourself, they will come at you, even to kill you. And anyways, but she had noticed that. And then she opened up to me about some of the things that she said. I said, Maddie, would you like to have a prayer before we go? I'm telling you, Janet. And she says, yes, Grandma, I'd like to have a prayer, because she was very fearful at this time, right? Well, Jan, right before I said that, I was getting ready. I sat up, and because I was really relaxed in my light state, right? In my zoom, this darkness fell right over me before I said this prayer. And I'm going, whoa. And it was where she is, right? And I'm going, whoa. And I said, I don't care, but I felt it. I'm just saying, and I'm going, oh my gosh. And I said, I don't care. I'm going through this prayer. I know who I am, and I know how to call upon Mother and Father and help. And so I said the prayer, and I prayed that she would have clarity. She would know. We talked about her leaving and getting out. And this is hard for her because she gets like $3,000 and she's stuck on that. It's just, she hasn't quite, anyways. And I know it has to be her choice, but anyways, I gave the prayer, and regardless of what hit me. And as a matter of fact, as I'm telling this, they're also attacking me. I just want you to know, but that's part of my story. And then she felt better. And then she was able to connect with a friend she trusted. And between the two, she at least felt safe. And I told her to make a decision by morning and make a plan, and then, okay, so we left it at that. And then I had to come in this morning to this class and go into that meditation, and I did have my morning ritual, which I do. That did clear me. That brought me into the class really well. But what I realized is we went deep in stuff, and the power that is in that when we all do it together. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, there is power and strength. And so I want to put out there for all those in this class that have tapped into that today, and to know that as I started to get the fear again, when I was thinking about telling this, Maddie texted in while I'm doing this, right? And this is the morning that I've asked, and she's okay, but she's not telling me a whole lot. And so I said, okay, well, if you don't mind, and the people on this call don't mind, to use our power and the strength that we've tapped into today to put out the prayer in the universe for her, to help her at this time, because she has to make the choice on her own. It's got to come from her free will.
Yeah.
But she's in a very dangerous situation.
Yeah. Well, if everybody wants to combine our intentions for that, for sure, we can all definitely do that.
That's what
We do need to wrap up, though. We've gone 40 minutes over.
Oh,
So
sorry.
we do need to wrap up. Thank you for the opportunity to pray for someone who is in need. And thanks everybody for being here. And thank you for uniting your light and shining your light out bright. This was a great class. And I think that everybody's contribution was perfect. So perfectly designed. Thanks everybody. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. I will get you a better link that you don't have to re-register for. If you need help with further coaching or mentoring, then you can reach out to me privately on Facebook. And everybody have a blessed rest of your day. Talk to you later. Mwah. Bye.